Think about the last time you couldn't stop thinking about someone. Not when you chose to think about them. When you couldn't stop. When their face appeared in your head without permission. When you checked your phone for the 5th time in an hour. When food tasted different and sleep felt optional. You probably called that feeling love. Your ancestors had a different name for it. They didn't have a name for it at all. They just knew that something had taken over. And for them, that takeover wasn't poetry. It was survival. What you call love is one of the oldest programs running inside you. Older than language. Older than fire. It was built not to make you happy. It was built to keep your genes alive. And once you understand what it actually is, you will never look at your own feelings the same way again. Let's start with what's happening inside your body when you fall in love. Because it is not what most people think. In 2005, biological anthropologist Helen Fisher placed people who described themselves as newly in love into an MRI scanner. She wanted to see what love looked like inside the brain. What she found was not a warm glow in the emotional centers. What she found was activity in the caudate nucleus, a region deep in the brain associated with reward, motivation, and craving. The same region that lights up in cocaine addiction. Love at the neurological level is not an emotion. It is a drive, closer to hunger or thirst than to any feeling we normally associate with romance. Fisher described it as one of the most powerful motivational systems in the human brain. More powerful than the sex drive, more powerful than the drive to sleep. And it was designed that way on purpose, because for your ancestors, finding the right partner was not a lifestyle choice. It was the only thing that mattered. Go back 200,000 years. You're living in a small band of maybe 20 to 50 people on the African savannah. Your entire world is those people, the land around you, and everything trying to kill you. In that world, a child cannot survive without two parents. A mother alone cannot hunt, gather, protect, and nurse at the same time. She will fail. The child will die. Her genes end there. A father who wanders off produces children who don't survive. His genes end there too. The only ancestors who made it were the ones whose brains became completely fixated on a specific partner, obsessed with them, driven to stay near them, chemically rewarded for their presence and chemically punished for their absence. That is what you feel when you fall in love. That is what that is. The chemicals are not incidental. They are the mechanism. When you are near someone you love, your brain releases oxytocin. You have probably heard it called the bonding hormone. But that name undersells what it actually does. Oxytocin does not just make you feel warm towards someone. It makes you feel that this specific person is irreplaceable. It makes their presence feel like safety and their absence feel like a physical threat. In studies of prairie voles, one of the few mammals that forms lifelong pair bonds, researchers found that oxytocin literally rewires the brain to associate a specific partner with the reward system. Remove the partner and the animal shows symptoms indistinguishable from withdrawal. Your brain works the same way. The reason a breakup feels like physical pain is because to your brain it is. You are not being dramatic. You are going through withdrawal from one of the most powerful neurochemical bonds your brain is capable of forming. But here is where it gets more complicated. Your ancestors were not just looking for someone to bond with. They were running an assessment. Constantly, automatically, without knowing it. Every time your ancestors looked at a potential partner, their brain was calculating. Not consciously, but the calculation was happening. Symmetry, health, age, status, strength, evidence of fertility, evidence of resources. Evidence that this person could survive and help their children survive. Research by evolutionary psychologist David Buss, spanning 37 cultures across 6 continents, found that mate preferences are not cultural. They are ancient. Men across every culture studied showed preference for youth and physical health markers because these signal fertility. Women across every culture studied showed preference for status and resource acquisition ability because these signal a partner who can protect and provide. These are not modern prejudices. These are 200,000-year-old survival calculations still running in the background of every attraction you have ever felt. The person you find beautiful is not beautiful by accident. Your brain is reading signals your ancestors needed to read to stay alive. But here is the part nobody wants to hear. Ancient love was not peaceful. In species where females choose mates and males compete for access, the competition is not polite. Among our closest relatives, chimpanzees, Males form coalitions to control females. They monitor them constantly. They punish them for showing interest in rival males. They commit infanticide, killing infants sired by other males to bring the female back into fertility faster. Humans are not chimpanzees, but we share 98.7% of our DNA with them, and the fossil record tells a story that is difficult to ignore. Studies of prehistoric human remains show significantly higher rates of trauma in males than females across most sites examined. Skull fractures, healed wounds from blunt force, injuries consistent with repeated interpersonal violence. For most of human prehistory, male competition for mates was not metaphorical. It was physical. It was brutal. And the drive behind it, that consuming need to possess and protect a specific partner, is the same drive that floods your brain when you feel jealous today. Jealousy is not a personality flaw. It is an ancient threat detection system that evolved to protect a pair bond that your ancestors' survival depended on. It does not matter that you live in 2025. Your brain does not know that, and here is what all of this means for you right now. You live in a world your pair bonding system was never designed to navigate. Your ancestors lived in groups of 20 to 50 people. You are exposed to thousands of potential partners in a single afternoon on your phone. Your brain's threat detection system was calibrated for a village. It is now running in a city of millions. This is why modern relationships feel so hard. Not because people are worse at love than they used to be, but because the ancient system designed to protect a bond is being asked to operate in conditions it was never built for. The jealousy, the obsession, the withdrawal, the irrational need to know where someone is. These are not weaknesses. These are ancient tools in a world they do not fit. For 200,000 years, your ancestors fell in love the same way you do. Their palms went cold. Something shifted in their chest when they saw a specific face. They could not sleep. They became, for a time, a little bit insane. They did not know about oxytocin or the caudate nucleus. They did not know they were running an evolutionary program. They just knew that this person mattered, that something had changed, that the world was somehow different with this one human in it. Across every culture, every continent, every era of human history, we have found evidence of it. Carvings, burial sites where two people were interred together, cave paintings that seem to depict pairs, songs and stories in every language humans have ever spoken, all trying to describe the same impossible feeling. That feeling is not modern. That feeling is not yours alone. That feeling is as old as your species, and the next time it takes you over without permission, when the face appears and the sleep goes and the food loses its taste, you will know what is actually happening. Something ancient woke up inside you, something that has been keeping humans alive for longer than civilization has existed. It chose a direction, and it does not intend to let go.